3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon. Today is September 26, 2022, and it's about 6:11 p.m., and this is the Streets and Sidewalks Committee. To my right is Councilwoman Len Snee, and to my left is Councilman Samuel Pearson. I'm Bob Phillips, the chair of this committee. We're here tonight to talk about an easement agreement for an encroachment north of the Mayflower Art Theater building. And Mr. Titterington, I guess you're going to present.
So recently, the new owners did a survey of their property, known as the Mayflower, and found that way back when, the building was built on the north side, which would be behind the Mayflower towards the north Cherry Street parking lot. 1.2 feet onto what is the public alley that the city owns. The Planning Commission recommended unanimously that the council approve. Was it Planning Commission?
No, Planning Commission didn't have
Park.
this. Or Park Board. Park Board
Somebody
talked about
did.
the easement
All right,
to the
we
side.
talked about it anyway. To grant an easement, the other option would have been to do an alley vacation, but then that wouldn't work because of the parking lot being on the other side. So Mr. Kerber recommended that it be an easement. And so we are asking that council approve that easement agreement written by Mr. Kerber, and that so that the project, which is continuing in the design and the approval stages, can continue. We are asking for emergency legislation.
So with the easement, I'm sorry, let me back up. Generally, when we have an improvement on city property, the item becomes the property of the city if it's done by an outside agency like a nonprofit group or some other thing.
That is the case when there is an improvement that is made and there's permission granted to do so, like a basketball court or something at one of the parks.
Right.
This is in the alley and it predates everybody here, so.
Do we have a date when this occurred? There is no.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, it was whenever it was constructed, and I don't have that information in front of me.
So because of the easement, the city has no liability on the building.
Correct.
We have no, for any damage to the building unless it's some act that one of our employees ran into it with a car, a truck or equipment or something like that.
Correct.
There's no other liability that could present itself to the city.
That's correct.
Okay. And that's coming from the law director.
Mr. Kerber, yes, and that will be part of the agreement.
Got it. I think that's the only question I have. Either one of you folks have a?
I do.
Yes, Mrs.
Is the easement granted to just this property owner, or does it stay with the property for any future?
It'll stay with the property.
Okay.
Because
So-
that 1.2 feet includes the exterior wall, so
Okay.
it's going to stay with the property.
So if there were to ever be something happen to the building or redevelopment that caused a reconstruction, is there anything that says you then wouldn't have this 1.2 feet or?
I don't believe that it automatically disappears. It would probably depend on the extent of the damage to the building.
I was just curious.
Yeah, easements don't go away. Right-of-ways and that sort of thing, they're in perpetuity.
Yeah, the only reason it could go away is if there's no building there, because it is a building easement, an encroachment easement, and if the building's no longer encroaching, there's an argument to be made that that easement does go away. But again, that would be an extreme circumstance.
Okay. Thank you.
I do have a follow-up then, but this is only, the only article or item that does protrude into that alleyway or city property is that building itself. There's no other,
There's no buffer, they're not asking for any part of the pavement, it's just the edge of the building.
got it. Okay, thank you.
Answers the questions.
Any other council folks have any questions on this item? Anyone in the audience have any questions on this item? Seeing none, what is your pleasure with this, with emergency
Move
as it
forward.
sits?
Move forward with emergency.
It's unanimous with the committee to move forward, as staff is recommending with emergency. Any other items to come before the Streets and Sidewalks Committee?
No, sir.
Then we are adjourned. Thank you all for attending.